welcome back if you're returning. Today's video I'm going to show you what I did to update my Valentine decor. This year my home is very dark and moody, as you know if you watch regularly, and my Valentine decor did not match, so I grabbed a few things together, and I'm just going to show you very quickly what I did to update and recycle for Valentine's. So let's get started. Got three cherubs, one's resin, one's like a chalky pottery, and one's a shiny pottery. This big one is the resin one, and I'm going to give them three different finishes. This one I'm going to gold leaf, so I start off just doing parts of it and then decide to do the whole thing, and I do just the little wings on the smaller one. This is the chalky one, and then this one is the shiny pottery. I did paint it with a black chalk paint, but I decided don't end up using this because I changed my mind on one of the crafts. So as you can see, it's half an hour. Give it half an hour, and then you go back and put the gold leaf on the size, and it just attaches it, like glues it on. You've seen me do this 100 times if you're a regular here on the channel. As you can see, I'm not getting it everywhere, and I'm very rough and ready with it. I don't want it to look perfect, and I'm going to give it an age effect anyway, so it's not going to look like this. It's not going to be all bright and shiny. It's going to look very aged and as if it's been around for a while. If you like this gold finish, you can go ahead. I find it a little bit too bright for my taste. So what I do is I go over it with a very dry brush that has been put in chalk paint, the black chalk paint, and I'm concentrating on the areas where the gold leaf hasn't stuck, or where you can still see the cherub, the white cherub underneath. And as you can see, it's really antiquing it, and it's taking it right down, taking the glow right off it. As I said, I'm just touching up the areas that would be more worn than others, and then I've got a very soft cloth, and I'm going over it with a soft cloth, and what it's done is it's rubbing the gold pieces, making them shinier, and it's just taking, again, in the high areas, in the areas that would have seen the most wear, it's giving that proper old gilded look to it. Go over this as many times as you want. You can add more gold, you can rub more black off, you can add more black, until you get the look that you feel is right. Next step is to make a little heart-shaped pillow. That's really what it is. I've just cut out two little pieces of like a deep wine colour velvet, and then I'm stitching them together with a blanket stitch and stuffing them, and it will look like a little pillow, little heart-shaped pillow. Once it's done, I'm going to edge it with a little piece of velvet ribbon, and then I'm going to stick it to the hands of the little cherub. And then this little key is from a Harry Potter set. It was a decor from one of the parties. I found this one piece of a bookend. I have two bookends. They both had worlds in them. Globes. The one broke, so this is what I'm using. The colour was right, but there was a bit of damage on it, so I just gave the two inside pieces a coat of the black chalk paint, which just covers up all the little messes. And then I'm going to stick the cherub to this back upright piece, which will support it and give it the look of a really nice bookend. It's quite substantial, and I can either use it as a bookend or use it as a little platform for decor. So once this is dry, I'm going to take the cherub and I'm going to stick it directly to the back part of the bookend. You can see here, this is just another thing I was working on. So I've got the cherub, and I'm just going to take the glue and stick it directly in place. This next project is a recent find. This was 50 cents. It's only a plastic piece. So all I'm doing is, I like the black frame. I'm just taking the rub and buff on my fingers and I'm just touching it on highlighted areas of the picture frame. So there's a couple of floral pieces, little cross, and then these little balls that go all the way around like little beads, and then the little rim. There's a couple of rims, so I've just give it all a coat very lightly with my fingers and then rub it very quickly with a cloth just to take the excess off. The back off. I've taken the glass out. I'm using the glass as a template on this piece of cardboard. I'm not using the glass for this project, but I am going to upholster the cardboard piece. I've taken batting, gluing the batting down, and then I'm going to cover it all with a nice piece of velvet, make sure it's nice and tight, and then I'm going to put it back into the picture frame. So I'm using the smaller cherub for this project. I filmed it, but I can't find the footage now, and I'm taking this little cupcake band and I'm just painting it gold, gluing it inside the frame, and again I'm just going to stick the little cherub to the front of it, and we have a card frame. I'm including this. It's not my favourite craft, but I want to show you sometimes things just don't turn out the way you expect them to. It doesn't happen very often, but this one was one of those occasions. I had a really nice piece of velvet. I used the little wooden ring as a template to cut this cardboard. I then covered the cardboard with the velvet, as you can see I'm doing here. And then I was going to use the wooden ring as a frame almost and put it on the front of the cardboard, but I didn't like the way it looked. So I covered the wooden ring in just some pretty floral paper, a dark floral paper that I had. Just cut it into strips to cover it up and make it look pretty. This is what I'm doing right here. Just cut strips of paper and then stuck it directly onto this little ring just to dress it up a little bit. And like I said, this just didn't turn out how I expected it to. So I recover the whole thing, you can see here, and now I'm going to stick it to the back. So it's sort of, I can use this a couple of different ways. I was going to hang it on the wall. In the end I put it in a picture frame holder, but I like the idea of these lovely feathers, so I stuck them all the way on the outside. Then I cut out another little heart out of a pink velvet. I stuck that directly onto the green and then just trimmed it with this little piece of lace ribbon. I found this little card. I cut out the little florals and decoupaged and stuck everything down. And again, it was going to be a wall hanger, and I just put it in a picture frame, and it's perfect for Valentine's. Again, it's not my best, not my favourites, but there it is. This lamp has been every colour. I've had about 6 different lampshades on it. I've painted this black. I've painted it, no, not black, it's going to be black now. It's been white, it's been pink, it's been red, you name it. I've had all sorts of lampshades on it. So this time around I wanted it, I've got this lovely velvet material and I just knew it would be perfect, and I have a perfect place for it. So as you can see, I've painted it with the black chalk paint, and I'm going to go over the highlighted areas with a bit of rub and buff. This velvet material is gorgeous. It is very moody, it's very romantic, it's got gorgeous flowers on it, it's lovely. So I'm just going to cover it very, very simply. This is not rocket science, this one, and as you know, I make a lot of lampshades. This is very, very basic. So it's just gluing I'm gluing the bottom. I've cut it and trimmed it. Now I'm stretching it and gluing it to the top band. Again, this is very, very basic. And then once I'm done, I'm going to cut it all down so it all fits the lampshade. I'm not making any hems or anything, and I'm just going to cover everything with a nice little piece of black velvet ribbon just to finish everything off. So this actual recycle, this was just something that I wanted to use as part of my Valentine decor, but I think I'm going to end up using this year round in the room. It just turned out so well and it looks so nice. So all I'm doing here is I'm making sure that everything is trimmed properly. I'm re-sticking down all the edges so that everything is perfectly in place. Once that's done, I'm going to take this black velvet ribbon and I'm just going to stick it all the way around the bottom, around the inside at the top, and just one little band around the top. And you can see it just really finishes everything off nicely. It makes it look, it's the difference between something looking sort of homemade and something that's maybe just been around for a while. Looks a little bit worse for the wear. It doesn't look like it's brand new, but it does look better than just leaving the edges unfinished. So as you can see, it's painted black, and I'm just going to take my fingers with the rub and buff and just touch certain areas around the rim, around the base, highlight certain areas again just to give it that more of a vintage and worn look. This one's a little trick I've been using for years. Cut a piece of this wire. It's not floral wire, it's a little bit thicker, but it's very pliable. 3 times round a bottle, give it a twist, those ends just to even them off, and it makes the perfect card or photo holder. What I do is I put them in the tops of these little vintage salt and pepper holders. Again, I've been using these for years and they just look so pretty. So I've just recycled thrifted items and stuff from around the house, and I have adapted my decor to fit my vintage Moody Valentine. to quickly show you the Curio Cabinet. I haven't done much to it. I've just put a few different little romantic photos, just a couple of little items here and there, mainly postcards, just to dress it up for Valentine's. This will be changing for Easter and spring, so but I just wanted to show you quickly. Just threw a few cards in here and there just to dress it up. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this little bonus Valentine decor video. Look out for my next video on Sunday morning rather than Saturday morning. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon.